Right guys, welcome back to the explanation and build of the negative ion static shock generator. This is a 12 volt DC negative ion generator. These are available from Amazon, eBay. Price ranges from £7 to £15. You can get them from China. It takes a long time to arrive, but they do arrive. So this is a 12 volt DC. You've got a red and a black terminal for your battery. And then you've got a red and black terminal for the ground and the plate that's going to go against your skin. You're going to need a couple of meters of 3 amp wire. You're going to need a little bit of 16 amp wire. You're going to need a piece of a soda can, just a tight piece of soda can, some sharp scissors, some insulation tape, a 9 volt battery terminal, a 9 volt battery and a switch. This switch comes out of a Poundland torch. You buy these torches for £1 from Walmart, Poundland, wherever. And it's the torch when it's got the button on the end. Just pull out the torch, take the switch out, and this is what you'll end up with. So I'm going to quickly show you how to build it. It's very simple. You're going to start out by getting your switch and you're going to wire up your switch. So you're going to get one end of your wire, wrap it around the switch. Now if I was a bit more professional, I would probably solder all this together, but because this is the Gaffed Academy and everything I build you can build in your kitchen, this is how we roll. There's no soldering, just wrap it around, make sure it's all nice and tight, and then you're going to just wrap this up with insulation tape. Now you might think this looks a bit scruffy as I'm building it, but most of it at the end will be hidden. So I'm going to tear this tape roughly in half. This is not a hard build, it's just a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. And you're going to wrap these wires around this switch. Obviously making sure you do not actually wrap around the actual switch itself. Now give it a nice good stretch this masking tape, and just make sure that all the exposed wires are completely covered. Wrap all this around. Now you could get heat shrink wrapping, that would work. But like I say, I like to build things that are completely built out of stuff you'll find in your kitchen drawer. So we're going to wrap up this switch, make sure the wire is not exposed. Put one more around there. And I'm just going to put a bit of wire down this bottom piece just to make sure that it is all nicely insulated. Just wrap it around, pulling it nice and tight as you go. And I think we do one more. Get a bit of tension on that tape if you can. So there we have the switch. Now in my version this is buried into my shoe, but this is going to be a long version that you can put this in your pocket. So the switch is done. We'll come back to that in a minute. Oh no, we won't. What you've got to do now is attach your battery terminal to here. So we're going to put the red on the red of the battery connector. So you're going to get those wires. You're just going to wrap them around. And then you get your trusty old tape again. And you'll tape up this. So this is the red battery terminal on the red of the generator terminal. And like I say, just make sure you've got enough tape around these. Make sure it's well insulated. Now the black doesn't go to the black, but it goes to the switch. So you've got your end switch here. The other end, you're going to attach your battery to it. So I'm going to get the other end of the battery and attach that. I do not think this matters which way round it goes, because it's just basically a switch to turn it on and off. So we wrap that around and then we'll take that up. Now it would be a lot easier if you got heat shrink wrapping, but as long as it's well insulated, all this will be hidden. So as long as it's insulated well, don't worry about it looking a bit scruffy. Most of this is going to be hidden. And now you can attach the other end of your battery terminal to the other end of the generator. So we'll wrap these two around, fold them over, and just take that up. So you should be in a position where there's a switch in between the plus and negative battery terminal, which goes to the generator. So we're just going to test that out. Get the battery, put the battery on here. Now there is nothing happening at the minute, but if I turn the switch on, it's now on. So we know that switch does work. If it's off, there's nothing to switch it on. So we can disconnect the battery. Now all this, you've got a little divot in the casing here. Basically all this is going to get hidden inside here. But you do need to leave just enough for your battery terminal to stick out onto the side. So you're just going to fold all these wires in here, get it all looking nice and tidy in there like that, and you literally just want enough of the cable of the battery terminal just so that you can put a battery on the side. So you'll have a tiny bit of cable. That's probably too much. You only need a fraction. You don't want any too excess. Well, that's probably perfect. So all that inside there, you're going to tape up. So we get a bit of tape. So all this wiring that's in here, we're just going to tape over the top, just to keep that contained in there. You've just got enough for your battery. You just need enough for the battery to be able to clip on, because what you're going to do at some point, you're just going to sellotape a battery to the side. So that's all hidden inside there. What you're going to do now is attach a smaller piece of wire. Now this is the 3 amp wire again. This is probably about 8 inches long. You're going to attach this to either the black or the red end. It does not matter which end, I do not think. I've never paid much attention to which end is attached to which. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. So basically wrap all those wires around there and then tape up this piece. Now I would suggest when you're taping up this piece here, make sure you put a lot of tape around it, because sometimes if you do not put enough tape, the generator can arc from this point. Now the first time I built this, I didn't put enough tape on it, and when I switched it on, it arced out of this point, but this was against my ankle, and holy crap, that chafed. It's bad enough just touching it with your fingers, but when it's arcing on your ankle, oh, Jesus gaffer. Now once again, don't worry if this looks a little bit scruffy, because once again, once you finish taping all this up, this is going to get hidden inside the gubbins as well. So you've done that one. You need another piece now about the same sort of length. Bearing in mind this is going to be the piece which goes into your shoe or to the ground, so make sure you've got enough cable. So I might make this a little bit longer just to make sure that it is long enough. Can always trim it down after, but I didn't do the ends of the cable, so we just get those off, pull it off, pull it off. And you're going to wrap this all around here. Fold it over and then make sure that's all taped down well. Once again, this is a place where it might arc through, so make sure this is well insulated, this particular spot. So I'm going to put double tape on that bit just to make sure it's not going to arc through it. Right, once again, this cable is going to get hidden inside here. Bearing in mind, one of these is going to go through to your shoe and the other one is going to go to a plate. So one wants to be on the bottom and the other one wants to be on the top. The one with the plate wants to be on the top really, because that's the way the switch is going. So I'm going to make this black one the plate, so that needs to come out the top. So it'll be sort of like that. That should be long enough to go into your shoe. So all this here can now get taped up. So we'll just get a bit of tape off. Get that ready and just get all this folded up inside here. It should do. Get a bit of tape. Now that bit of tape will hold it all in place now. So you're in this position, you've got your generator, you've got your battery terminal. This is going to go to the ground wire, this is going to be the plate that's against your skin, and this is your switch. All you're going to do now is get your black tape and wrap all this up. That way it keeps it all secure and it looks nice and tidy. Making sure the battery terminal, so I'm going to hold the battery terminal down that way and tape over this way now. Fold that over that way. Right, we just cover the bottom. See, it didn't matter if those joints looked a bit scruffy, as long as they were well insulated and well connected, because it's all getting covered over. Just snip that off. Now you've got something which looks like this. Right, this is where the plate's going, this bit of tin foil. So what you're going to do is stick that onto there like that. So you can fold that over a little bit and just tape that bit up. Now what I did on one the other day, I super glued all this with another piece of tin. But what I did do was I super glued the tin to my finger, to my thumb. And it took me about half an hour to get the tin off. So I'm simply going to cover this with tape. Put a bit of tape on there. and we'll just wrap a bit more around there. Now it might look a bit scruffy, but this is how I built the one that's in my shoe, and it's been in my shoe now for 3 years. It's been used quite a bit and it's still intact. There we go. Now this is going to be the wire which goes to the ground wire. Now this is the only piece of wire which you might have to at some point redo. Now let me just show you quickly what I mean. The ground wire actually goes right through the sole of your shoe, right through here, and because you're walking on this wire can get brittle and break. So this is about the third piece of wire I've had through the bottom of my shoe. See, my switch is here, but this one's built into your pocket. It literally goes right through your shoe, look. But because you're walking on it, it does break, and I've replaced it about 3 times. That's why this wire needs to be a lot tougher. So all you're going to do is wrap that around here. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as it's got good contact. And then tape it up. And make sure you've got a lot of tape around this bit as well, because you don't want this arcing in through the bottom of your foot. So just make sure it's taped up well. Like I say, this might look a bit scruffy, but this is going to be under the sole of your shoe. You're never going to see it. But just make sure it's well taped up. You don't want it arcing through here, honest to God. It would chafe. And we do one bit around the whole lot. Right, so that's it done. You're obviously going to get a battery. Make sure it's the right way round. And literally, you're going to tape the battery to the generator. Like that. So you can plug this in. And it'll be like that. Right, you are going to need some sort of padding on the back. This is packaging from a phone we bought. It wants to be nice and soft because this is going to be up against your ankle and it can rub, and some sort of Velcro elastic strap to hold it to your ankle. And this is the plate which goes against your skin. See, look, mine's scruffy as hell, but this has been like this for 3 years and it's still in one piece. So that is the electric touch negative ion generator, fire lightning bolts from your fingertips, gimmick build done. That's taken 20 minutes. Obviously you've got to put this in your shoe. That does involve drilling a hole through your shoe and getting it in the right place. But once it's in your shoe and it's switched on, there should be no electronics working, but as soon as you switch it on, so what happens is this wire is in your shoe and this wire is constantly in contact with the ground. It needs to be earthed. That's why it goes through the bottom of your shoe. This plate will be against your ankle under your sock. When you switch this device on, you won't feel anything. You could wear this all day with it switched on, you wouldn't feel a thing until you touch something that's metal, or a person or a plant or something. You will get an electric shock, but it won't come through here, it will come through wherever you touch it. So if this device is switched on, and you touch somebody, you will give them a electric shock. It is not like this. If you've ever walked on carpet and you get an electric shock, it's not like that either. It's sort of in between the two. It is a shock that people definitely notice. They're like, "Oh, what the f-" I'm going to swear then. But you could use this for any sort of mind reading attempt. You know, you could force a card on somebody, get them to think of it in their mind. You turn your device on. Right, I'm going to pull it out of your mind. You're going to touch them on the forehead. They're going to get an electric shock, and there you've got the card. So that is the electric shock device built. Turn it on. Turn it off. Does hold a charge because it's like a capacitor, but there we go. That is complete. This is available for sale. I will only sell this to somebody that's in the UK because of posting this abroad could be a bit problematic with looking how it does. But you will have to find yourself a battery because batteries are expensive, and a strap and some padding. But this one will work. You'll put this against your ankle. This will be against your ankle. This will be against under your sock against your skin. This will be in your shoe, and this will be up your trouser leg in your pocket. Switch is long enough. Unless you've got really long legs, you're screwed. But that's it, guys. It didn't take that long. It's a bit tricky to do, but nothing too bad. So I do hope that was clear enough for you. It is me rambling as always, but that is electric touch built. That will cost you about £20 if you were to buy all the bits. The generator, the cable, the battery, the connectors. There's about 20 quid's worth there to build it yourself. So comment, subscribe, like, guys, and if somebody wants this, email me. The first email I get, first come, first serve. That's all I can say. So comment, subscribe, like, guys. Cheers. Get zapping.